Hey guys, it's JXX21 here, and today I'm bringing you a video on my new T-Maxx. This is a T-Maxx Classic, also known as the T-Maxx 2.5, and this is going to be an introduction video going over what I've done to it so far. So, as you can see, this is the original body. When I got it, this was all destroyed, so I just put some zip ties in it, and it's holding together for now. But I do have another body, and this body came from the Traxxas Tmaxx. If you don't know what the Tmaxx is, look it up. It's kind of interesting, but not really. It's essentially a T-Maxx without four-wheel drive. It's just rear-wheel drive. So, same chassis, same everything. You could just put the front diff and the drive shafts, and it'd be a four-wheel drive. But besides the body, I've actually already done some upgrades, and since my computer broke, I wasn't able to do any upgrade videos for it. But as you can see, I have an RPM front shock tower, front bulkhead brace, the RPM wear plates, RPM front bumper. I also redid all the shocks with 40 weight oil, rebuilt them, still running stock springs. Let's see what else. In the front end, I rebuilt the differential, and I put stainless steel hardware everywhere that I could, so that'll help it not rust, although I don't plan to drive this in any water, because why would I? This is not the original battery box. I'll get into that in a little bit, but I do have a receiver pack. Here's the plug for it right here. And the way I wired this is that when it's off, it's routed to here, and I can plug it in and charge it. And when it's on, it routes to the receiver. And if you don't know what radio I'm running, which you wouldn't, I'm running a FlySky FS-GT3C. I like the radio. It's 3 channels, so it works. I also have my /4x4, my /2-wheel drive, and my axial deadbolt wired to that radio. So moving back a little bit, I have some Traxxas waterproof servos, a 2075 for throttle and brake, a 2056 for shifting, and another 2075 for steering. Now, I would have put a 2056 on the throttle and brake as well, although I got these in a 2-pack for a good deal, so I just put this one on the throttle and brake because I want stronger brakes. I also set the failsafe on the receiver, so right now it's not connected, so it just pulls the brake on. And there's a reason for that, and I'll get into that a little bit later. It also relates to this. I rebuilt the entire engine, a whole new bottom end, piston sleeve is original. Carb, got a new carb. Let's pull the air filter off. I got a new carb, and a whole new bottom end. And the reason I got a new bottom end was because the original bottom end that was in this, the bearings, if you have taken one of these apart, you'll know what bearings I'm talking about, but they're on the crankshaft. There's the one up in the front, and then the one like in the block. Those had gone bad, and it's about $20 to replace those, but I found a whole block with the bearings and with all the seals for $20, so I just went that route. This Easy Start motor, I do believe, is the original one. It works fine, but this connector broke off on it, so I just soldered it to it. Not the best solder job, but it holds. It does have the Easy Start system, and this motor does run really well, really strong. Now in the back, I also have an RPM rear shock tower, RPM rear bulkhead, RPM bulkhead brace. This stock skid plate should be changed tomorrow, actually. And the RPM skid plate, or wear plate, whatever. In the back, I'm running just the half preload clip. It's like a 1/4 inch, I think, on just 2 of the shocks. All the other shocks don't have any preload on them. So, it sits arms level. So let's move under the truck. Under the truck, we can see the RPM skid plate here. There goes a body washer. RPM skid plate again in the center. Yeah, I don't have a skid plate on the front. That's because they're coming tomorrow. That's why the rear one will be replaced. A Traxxas aluminum center brace. I got this used for 20 bucks, which is like half the price of it originally, and these are straight. They're good. They work just fine. But let's get into why this has changed and some other stuff. So on the very first run after rebuilding the engine, I took it out with a old FlySky receiver that I had repaired. The antenna had broken off and I had soldered it together. So it was running good, and about 5 minutes into the run, I was running on the street, and it was down the street a little bit, and it lost control at full throttle and went right into a curb. And it broke the whole front end of the truck off. Let's see. No, I only have the remaining parts. The shock tires are still good, and the rear bulkheads are still good, but the front ones were trashed. The front bumper is good. I just replaced it because I'm going to get aluminum skids, and I don't want it to be bending. And if you notice, the RPM bumper comes down, and then the RPM skid plate comes up, and there's barely any gap there. It's maybe like, I don't know, 1/4 inch, a little bit more. So the front skid plate will cover that. But anyway, I snapped the front skid plate off, broke it in 3 pieces actually. Broke the center chassis braces in half about here, bent the main chassis, and stripped out the screws in the transmission. I did replace I haven't replaced the transmission cases yet. That's because the screws are holding in. They seem to be fine. But I do have another transmission case if screws do start to fall out. So I will replace those. Also, if you're wondering about the green fuel line, that was on there already. I want to replace this with the stock blue fuel line. But other than that, the thing started up really quickly with the new carb. It did leak a little bit, but that was just because this was loose. And I think that had something to do with me, because I did loosen it to turn the fuel intake around, so I guess I didn't tighten it enough. But now it works. It runs good. Really no complaints with the engine at all. Stock fuel tank. But yeah, it's a strong running truck. I won't be able to run it tomorrow. At least I don't think so, because the weather says it's gonna rain. But when it does clear up, hopefully I'll maybe be able to get a video of this. So yeah, let's put this body on, the S-Max body. Also, the air filter sits right in there. I took it off, but it sits like right here, not up against it, but it sits in there. So I just drilled some holes here so some cross ventilation can flow through in. I would drill some holes in here, but then when it flips over onto its roof in dirt, it's just going to scoop a bunch of dirt into the holes. Oh, sorry. It's going to scoop a bunch of dirt into the holes. Yeah, you can argue, oh, the receiver, whatever. This is my body. I'll do what I want with it. So, yeah, I'm going to have to get some paint for this thing as well. It's going to be blue, black, white, and silver. I hope it turns out good. Probably won't, though. But that's my winter project. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.